you react to the Supreme Court order that sets Perarivalan free? Do you believe it's the right order?
It was very much on expected lines. I anticipated this verdict, and I respect the Supreme Court's verdict.
Now, when that death sentence was commuted first to life term, one of the reasons cited by the campaign to get him freed was that he had spent more than 14 years in jail. Does that argument cut for you, Mr. Kaarthikeyan?
See, there was an interpretation differently at different stages. I know there have been instances where people held guilty of murder, convicted for murder, and they have been released on 7 years, 6 years and all that, also giving various remissions by various state governments.
But this is a terror case, Mr. Kaarthikeyan. Should terror convicts be freed? Should their sentences be cut short? Does that set a precedent?
The question is whether a person convicted for a terrorist offence and sentenced to death, when that punishment has been commuted to life imprisonment, whether it should be treated like any other murder case, or when say life sentence should be for life or not. That debate has been going on for a long time. In some countries, life means till the end of the life. Other places, you know, they have been commuting it on various provisions. So this has to be settled. As things stand, it is ultimately for the Government of India, and Parliament, and of course the highest court in the land to interpret it and give a verdict.
Let me therefore take it to the political and legal dimension. Now, Supriya Shrinate, the Congress has come out and said that they feel that this reveals the weakness of the Modi government. Why should the Modi government be held responsible for what the Supreme Court has done? The Supreme Court has said that Perarivalan should be released. Surely the Gandhi family themselves were talking about mercy to the convicts of in the Rajiv Gandhi assassination till a few years ago.
So multiple questions there, and I will answer one by one. I will begin with what the Gandhi family had said. Now, whether it's Priyanka Gandhi or Rahul Gandhi, in fact, Mrs. Gandhi herself, I think you'll at least empathize and understand there's something called closure. You can't live with deep-seated pain and deep-rooted hatred. And I think in their personal capacity, they want to be, they were magnanimous, they wanted to forgive, they wanted to put it behind them, and they wanted these people, you know, to be given mercy. This is in their personal capacity. But please understand what happened back then. This was an assassination of not just a Congress leader, but assassination of India's former Prime Minister. This was a terror act against the state of this country, against the state, against India. And so the only question that I'm asking is, and it pains me a little, to see these celebrations, he's almost being treated as a martyr. I mean, let's get one thing out of the way here. This man is a convicted assassin of no less than India's former Prime Minister and 15 other people.
The celebrations are taking place with the, ma'am, I'm sorry to interrupt, you know, before, let's be clear, the celebrations are taking place in Tamil Nadu across the political divide, including your ally, the DMK. It's Mr. Stalin and others who have also been very involved in the release process. So the Congress party says one thing in Delhi and says one thing in Chennai.
No, I'm coming to that if only you do not interrupt me. I will now say, why are we blaming the BJP? The BJP's tall leader, who was then the governor, Mr. Banwarilal Purohit, sat on the recommendation of the AIA DMK astute of the BJP government for 4 years. He then referred it to the president, who also did nothing, and which is why the Supreme Court came in and gave this judgment. My only point of contention here is this acquiescence by silence. The BJP, which talks about nationalism, which talks about a strong stand against, terrorism, a strong against perpetrators of crime against the state. How did it sit quiet, and why did it preside over silently as the governor and the president did nothing?
Your Tamil Nadu Congress and your Tamil Nadu ally are supporting it. Supriya Shrinate, your Tamil Nadu Congress and Tamil Nadu ally are supporting it.
No, let me finish. No, Rajdeep, let me finish. So I first want to pin the blame where it lies, which is the BJP. It is duplicity. It is reprehensible how they talk on terror and let this happen, because this sets a very wrong example. I may turn around and ask them, why are other Tamilian brothers and sisters serving life imprisonment sentences? This sets a precedent for 6 others to be released. So you can commit a crime against the state of India and walk free and then be celebrated as a martyr. As far as the Congress in Tamil Nadu is concerned, you are wrong there. The Congress is not celebrating. And I am a little pained with what the DMK stand on this has been. I am not going to mince my words, because I am somebody who believes this was a terror act against the state, terror act to assassinate India's former Prime Minister, and he cannot be let loose. This is duplicity of the BJP to talk tough on terror and actually to remain a mute spectator when you could have acted against it.